Namaste, and Laura here from Awakened and Autistic, and I am an autistic adult that got diagnosed at the age of 37. And I make these videos to promote awareness and to help other adults on the autistic path, as there's not that many resources out there as of right now for autistic adults. So today's video is all about the process of getting diagnosed as autistic. And mind you, you don't have to get an official diagnosis if that's what you choose to do. There's some people who are self-diagnosed and maybe do some online tests and they really resonate, and maybe they just resonate with different Facebook groups of autistic people. And that's okay, whatever you choose to do. For me personally, in my life, I've known probably since back in like 2014 that I was probably autistic, and my path has just led me now to this moment of just feeling like I needed to know. And I think it's just part of my dharma now to help other autistic adults. So I felt like I didn't want to be a fraud. So I had to know for sure if I was autistic. And just the process for me in itself was very validating and very liberating. So I'm really glad I went through the process. And it's kind of funny because I didn't know going into this that it can, like, you really have to find the right person to diagnose you. There's even some psychologists out there that aren't very educated on this topic, or might just say, oh no, you're not autistic. And it can take many months, sometimes years, to get an appointment. And I've heard that it can take, or it could cost up to $4,000 just to get the assessment and the diagnosis, nothing else, just that. I did not know that, and I just got lucky and I met somebody at a retreat when I was in Utah, and they were looking into it to see if they were autistic. So I got the information from them. So I'm going to share all of this stuff in the comments below, and just know that I'm not paid by this, who I'm going to tell you who I went through or anything. I'm just telling you because I'm just so grateful and so happy that I found this place, and I so believe in their work and what they're doing. So anyhow, I got diagnosed through a place called Wilderwood, and it is an equine therapy place in New Mexico. And it's a husband and wife team. The wife, she is also autistic and she's a psychologist, and her husband is not autistic, but he studies this. So they work together so well as a team. And it took me, I think, 3 months to get in. I could have got in even sooner because there was a couple cancellations. I just wasn't able to get in sooner just because I took off that specific day from work. And the cost is only $500, and that is a donation that goes to the autism research, specifically in women. So I thought, wow, like, how lucky am I? Like, I felt like I hit the jackpot. First of all, I didn't even know that it could take years or $4,000 sometimes to get a diagnosis. And I just felt like I got so lucky to find this place. So I knew it was the right thing to do for me. And I'm just going to kind of go through the process with you of, of what it was like from beginning to end. So when I made the decision that I wanted to do it, they sent me like a very detailed email of things I needed to hand in and needed to be completed by a certain time before. Uh, so let me back up a little. There's two parts. The first part, they send you some links to do some assessments at home. And then the second part is you meet with them on Zoom, and it takes like, can take up to like 4 hours to do like an interview. Mine took like, I think, 2 hours. And they do some more tests with you on the Zoom call. So anyhow, I had to do a couple like test assessments at home. I'm going to include those links in the comments below. Just a couple of them that I have, and it's like the public has access to it anyway, so I'll give that to you. And the other thing that I had to do was write like a narrative pretty much of my life, like how it was like growing up, like all the way up to now, of like maybe struggles I had, but even like accomplishments. And like how work was for me and school and friendships, like any of that stuff. Then I also had to get a list from my mom, which I'm going to read to you um, in a little bit. And sorry, I just clicked out of it by accident. But I wanted to tell you um, what the list entails. And I think my mom had to, oh yeah, so she had to write what were my observed strengths and talents and what were my challenges and struggles. So I'm going to read these in a little bit. And this whole process in itself was like a whole journey, because just me like asking my mom to do this for me, she had to kind of go back and look over my childhood. And she said it had made her a little emotional. And she had emailed me the answers. And at the end of the email, she wrote, "Just so you know, you were the best kid ever and you never caused me any trouble. And I hope you don't think otherwise," or something like that, something like really sweet. And then like I got emotional. And my mom and I over the years kind of like, I don't know, sometimes we split apart and then we come back together. So I don't know, it was kind of like a nice thing to get us to come back together a little bit. So that was another thing I had to do. um and then so the report about my life had to be 3 pages long, so that was also like a journey in the process for me to think back over my whole life and all of like the challenges and struggles that I had. um, so it's definitely worth it, I think, the process to do it. But just if you do it, be prepared that like you might have to access some previous memories that maybe you didn't think about for a while, but just know it's for a good purpose and for a healing purpose. So I pretty much I kind of did feel overwhelmed when I knew I had to do all of this stuff. So I just did it in steps. I'm like, okay, today I'll just do the online tests, and they didn't take that long. I think they took like maybe 10 minutes each. So I did that one day, and then I said, okay, another day I'll work on my 3 page narrative. And I think I did like a little bit of it, and I was like, okay, that was enough. I needed to take a break. And then I came back to it. But it's like I knew I had the 3 month period of time till my appointment. And I think you have to get it done. I don't remember exactly. I think you need to hand it in at least a month before, because they actually like go through like everything. It's like very, very thorough. And then at the end, they email you a whole report. I think my report's like 11 pages long. So anyway, I met with them on December 13th of 2022 when I was 37. And interestingly enough, my birthday is on January 13th. So I literally have only known for a month now, but it feels like eternities for some reason. Like I've been making all these YouTube videos and whatnot, and started the Instagram, The Awakened and Autistic. So like so much has happened over this last month, and I'm just really excited about it. So, okay, I'm gonna read what my mom wrote now. So, observed strengths and talents. Very lovable and cared about everyone and loved our pets. Friendly, organized and very clean. Always wanted to behave. Good at sharing. Loved the water and swimming and taught yourself. Never liked to be late and always on time. Good at coloring. Loved to pack things into purses, like books, but pack them instead of reading them. I remember I used to collect all these books just to collect them, but I never read them. You thrived in college. You studied morning, noon, and night for 2 years. It didn't come easy to you, but you seemed to love the challenge and liked your instructors. Serious and proud of your accomplishment after not liking school for so long. Then for challenges and struggles, she said, very shy and liked being with me. Cheerleader and dance lessons a few years, but then really didn't want to do any activities. You liked nursery school, but never elementary school. First grade was very bad as you cried that it was too long. I would cry and put you in the car, and the guidance counselor would meet us at the door, and you would go in with her. You would make it through the day, and the teachers liked you, and you were very quiet. Migraines started in elementary school. Doctor kept saying you would outgrow them. You could never get to the bottom uh, of medical or environmental from school. Oh, we couldn't figure out if it was medical or environmental. They did slow down when you got your period, as the doctor said would happen. Loved having friends, but always got sick and would sometimes throw up when staying overnight. Would attempt to go to sleepover parties and a few times called me to come and pick you up as you wanted to be home or something made you uncomfortable there. Communicating your feelings always seemed hard. You were small and looked young for your age, and middle school was painful. I think you cried that nobody liked you. Friends were wearing makeup and you were content watching cartoons and not really relating to them. High school you seemed to detach a bit. Picked up and moved to Philadelphia when you were 25 without much warning, and then you started moving around a lot. You seemed to have issues at the dentist offices where you worked. Detached from me for a long time while living there, and I was never sure why or what I did. No real best friend, so to speak, when young, but you loved your family, especially Nanny, and I think losing her and Aunt Beth within 2 years had an effect. Sorry, I didn't know that was going to make me emotional. But I lost my grandmother and my aunt when I was in my lower 20s, and they were really close to me and they really helped me a lot. So it was really hard when I lost them. So, anyhow, as you can see, the process can be a little emotional because it can bring up things. And then I don't want to like lengthen this video, but I also had a really close friend of mine um, share with me what she saw about me with my strengths and weaknesses too. And it was really cool to see her list and just really good for me to kind of see myself a little bit better too. And I think one thing I'm gonna make a whole other video on this. I think one thing that autistic people struggle with is feeling misunderstood. So I feel like for me, finding out I'm autistic and then learning more about it and understanding myself helps me to feel less misunderstood because I'm like understanding that like, oh, it's not me, it's just other people are not understanding of what autism is. The whole reason I'm making these videos is to like raise awareness of like how beautiful it can be too, and um how just amazing it is when you can really sit with somebody and they can share really how their life was as an autistic person, and really that other person have an open heart to listen and really understand. So anyhow, um I'm going to share the links to Wilderwood. Oh, another cool thing that happened, I lost my train of thought for a second, is when I was doing this interview with them, I felt like really at home and really comfortable. I just really felt like I could open up to them. They were very personable, and the wife puts on autistic retreats with the horses and everything at another place in New Mexico. So knowing all the things that I do, I talk a lot about being a dental hygienist, but that's just part of what I do. The other part of what I do is um, I do a lot of things within the holistic realm. So I'm a yoga teacher. I help with meditation. I do Reiki, and I also have led retreats before. I also make malas. You'll see some of my videos on mala making. Um, those are just some of the things that I do. So they invited me on this retreat to teach yoga and breath work, and then to teach about malas and what they are and how to make them. So I'm so excited that I'll get to go to this retreat. They have one in June and one in August. And if you're the least bit interested, there's going to be a link to the retreat too. And again, that's not why like I made this video or anything. I just wanted to mention that if you are watching this video and maybe you're new to like finding out you're autistic, or you don't have the diagnosis yet but like resonate with what I'm sharing or other videos you've watched, you might want to check out this retreat. There's going to be a lot of cool things there, and everyone at the retreat's autistic. all of the presenters at the retreat are autistic, and even the person that owns the retreat center is autistic. So there's something really special when all autistic people come together, and like how our brains are just so amazing and how they work and all the magic that can happen from that. So I'm really excited. I'll be presenting at the retreat in August. Like I said, they're having two, one's in June and one's in August. So that's happening this summer, 2023. Yay. And then let me see if there was anything else I wanted to say before I close. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, yes. I wanted to share, I'm not going to share my whole 11-page assessment, but what they do is I got like a short page of like what level of autism or what level of support I am. So mine says autism spectrum disorder, F84.5. And it says without accompanying, I can't say that word, accompanying, can't say it, intellectual or language impairment. So it's saying I don't have that, but apparently I can't say that word. So anyhow, I'm level 1. It says requiring support. However, like there's like level 1, level 2, level 3. I don't know if it goes more than that. But I'm the least amount of support, which means like, I mean, I've worked as a hygienist. It's a very professional job and setting, almost like what I do is almost like equivalent to what a nurse does, you know? And I've never told anyone at any of my jobs that I was autistic because I didn't know. So, but now that I'm more aware of it, I know my sensory issues and my energy levels. So I'm starting to speak up more at work and just with other situations too, maybe roommate situations, stuff like that. Of yeah, just sensory things or yeah, speaking up my needs. All right. Well, I think that's covers everything. If you have any questions, please comment or you can always email me. I still feel like I'm missing something, but I'm not thinking exactly what. I'm just going through my email of the test results I got. They do send you a page at the end of resources. So I think that's like the main thing, and I'll do like a whole nother video on this, is like there are resources out there for adults, but it's very minimal. And also like I feel like the medical community, like I was saying earlier, even like some psychologists don't even catch on that people are autistic. There's just like not enough education or understanding around it. So when you do get the diagnosis, they will give you resources. There's a lot of like TED Talks, like different books, mainly like stuff about like, you know, healing your trauma, stuff like that. So, okay, I think I'm supposed to end there. So, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out the links below. And if you're liking these videos, please like this video, subscribe, comment. This all helps my videos to get out there to more people so they see it and can help more autistic adults. So, thanks so much for watching and namaste.